2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the last segment of Hippy Dippy Recruitment here on this Sunday, the 25th. We're going to be getting into our final subject of the night, possibly one of the most heated. Whose immigration policies will be more effective for the United States? Kamala Harris's approach or Donald Trump's? One more time, that's whose immigration policies will be more effective for the United States? Kamala Harris's approach or Donald Trump's? We're going to give everybody 2 minutes to introduce their point on this, and then we're going to go opening it up to the pit. I'm going to be a little bit more heavy on the muting this time. If you guys get cut off mid-sentence, hey, it's probably because you've just been talking long enough that we all just really have internalized what you had to say. So with all that said, we're going to be popping off with the same order we've been going in before with Sansol. Please, Sansol, take it away.
Yeah, so if we're going to solve any kind of crisis at the border, we have to figure out what the crisis is. It's not just the massive amount of people, it's also how we deal with those people once they get here, or how they're trying to apply for citizenship or asylum once they get here. Putting up, Title 42 or erecting a physical border wall, we can do all of these things, but it seems like because we still have the law in place for asylum seeking, you get onto American soil and say, I'm claiming asylum. At that point, they're legally required to allow you to go through the asylum process. So in terms of who is going to actually do that, well, it seems like the Democrats are finally on board with doing something about the border crisis. They made a lot of concessions in that Senate, the Senate immigration bill, and it dealt a lot with the exact issues that I'm talking about now. No bill that we're going to do for immigration is going to change anything unless we change the underlying reason why so many people are coming here, because they can apply for asylum in very easy ways. So if you guys want to change anything about the border, if you want to fix anything like that, it's probably going to be the Harris campaign and not the Donald Trump campaign that's going to end up doing something about it.
Okay, thank you very much, Sansol. Moving on to Nina.
We just had this conversation with Gibbs
right.
like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I think it's pretty obvious that the Trump administration has no interest, or Trump himself has no interest in actually securing the border, considering, obviously, we know that the Democratic border, the bill that was proposed was shot down by Trump directly because he said because he wanted it to be a political thing. He doesn't actually give a shit about the border. All the border is to Trump is a political thing. He has no interest in actually fixing anything. What I think is one of the most important things that we need to have that is in that bill is more border judges, because I think the most American thing in this world is to have immigrants come in here legally. And I think you need to have people have a ability to come to this country legally, the same way that we all of our ancestors, assuming we're all Americans here, did. Because that's what's amazing about America, is that we are a nation of immigrants, right? This is what the Statue of Liberty is all about. We need immigration, and we need to have it legally. We need to have it properly. We need to have it so that people have a path to citizenship, so that they can become citizens. I think that there's nothing wrong with somebody wanting to come to the best country in the world. Of course I want to come to it, because why is this country the best country in the world? Because we are built of a country of immigrants. We are a melting pot of so many different people. That's why our food is the best. We need immigration. Not only that, when it comes to just having people come into this country, as obviously
15 seconds.
Is America. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I was getting carried away. I guess I'll leave it at that. I don't want to add into more, but yes, immigration is the most American thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Nina, moving on to Media Wench.
Yeah, obviously the candidate who's going to be willing to work with people on immigration is probably going to have the better policies versus the guy who doesn't have any plans on immigration except for outrage, which is kind of ironic because his wife is an immigrant. I guess she's just of an acceptable color. And so, yeah, I definitely think that, taking things into advisement from people who may know more on the subject than you, rather than thinking that you're the only one who can fix things, probably going to lead to better policies. And also, I agree that there needs to be better processes and namely more judges and more attorneys and representatives in the positions of helping people get through the asylum process, as I have friends who are attorneys, and even just in small counties and jurisdictions, things being able to get through court processes is a nightmare because there isn't enough judges and there isn't enough attorneys to be able to deal with cases. Those areas are very, very stressful because they're heavily overburdened with trying to help people. And so, for some reason, helping people seems like some sort of a source of weakness when I don't believe that is something that is true either. So, yeah, we should definitely work with people who are willing to work with people instead of people who just want to shut people out in a place that's historically been one with a reputation for bringing people in. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you very much. We're now moving on to Hippy Jesus. Can't ever remember which Jesus it is. Go ahead and take it away, bud.
It's the cooler one. So the point of the topic was talking about whose policies would be more beneficial to America. Trump's strict border policy or Kamala's reform, I guess, border policy. I have a feeling that the other side are going to mention the fact that Kamala was the border czar and saying that she did not do anything to protect the border, to work on the border, to stop any mass immigration. But her job wasn't to hinder immigration. Her job wasn't the border czar. Her job was specifically to examine and improving the underlying conditions in the Northern Triangle of Central America, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, which, in fact, she did do that. She, in March of 2014, she had secured commitments from major U.S. and multinational companies to invest more than $5 billion in the region. So if any of you are going to bring up the fact that she did nothing to secure the border, that wasn't her job. She did her job, and she exceeded her job. Now we can talk about the actual policies that she is going to put forth. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hippy Jesus. Now on to the other, maybe better, maybe worse Jesus. Up to you to decide. Druid Jesus, take it away.
So part of the problem with this issue is that it's so contentious, and it probably is the biggest, most zeitgeisty issue that we have, at least for this election, and it's been building for quite some time. Going back to Obama, like the Hispanics that I live around called him the deporter-in-chief, and to be honest, I think every single president after him should have probably maintained that deporter-in-chief title, because our asylum system is broken, and because it's broken, we need to start more systematically denying asylum seekers, because Congress is obviously not trying to actually figure this problem out. Why are they not trying to figure this problem out? Because each side wants the credit and the political aptitude to be like, oh, we fixed this, and the other side didn't. The other side was pushing back. It's all bullshit. They are petulant children that are worse than us, and we're on the internet for some substantial amount of time per day. So when it comes down to it, I do like what some of the policy ideas that some of the lefties say, which is like more judges so that we can actually have maybe an actual constitutional or not asylum system, but immigration system, because currently our system is so broken that I think it is unconstitutional because they are not given timely hearings for their grievances. I think that the Trump and the Biden administrations both had a remain in Mexico policy that started to get the process to be a little bit more efficient and a little bit more not under the control of the cartel. And that's where it comes down to.
Okay, thank you very much, Druid Jesus. Moving on to Admiral Gibbs. Take it away.
Yeah, so as the only one here who is the child of an illegal immigrant, aka an anchor baby, I feel like that I'm intimately tied to this issue and I know it very well in and out. It's really an interesting topic to me. And I find what the Dems do is just utter dishonesty the entire time here. First, they want to talk about this bill that got shut down all the time. Every time this topic comes up, they talk about this bill. But you know what they conveniently leave out is the Border and Security Immigration Reform Act of 2018, which was done under Trump, which would have gave us a border wall, and it would have also done immigration reform. I agree. I think immigration reform is absolutely necessary. We need more people coming. We definitely need that. I agree. We should make it easier for people to come. But we also got to build a wall. We got to get a secure border. We need to know who's coming. We need a wall stop. stop, sex trafficking. It's a major issue. It stops, drug trafficking, all these things. There's a reason why the DNC has walls outside the DNC. It proves they work. I don't know really why that's even a debate. I know Tim Walz doesn't understand walls. That's why he's always talking about them. Crazy stuff, good stuff there. I just, whenever we sit here and they talk about these things, they talk about, oh, Kamala was never the borders are. Well, it was the left that actually started calling the borders are. And ironically, she replaced somebody whose unofficial title before was the borders are. I mean, even if we want to call her the migration czar, the Northern Triangles are, she accomplished nothing there either. And it's an abysmal failure across the whole border. And it's just terrible. In fact, we should call her the failure czar. In fact, she's only pushed forward a immigration reform bill with even the last bill was only an immigration reform bill. It didn't actually address the root issue, which was the porous border. Thank God Greg Abbott has, and we've had Operation Lone Star, which has decreased illegal immigration by 85% since he implemented it. It's amazing. Just for one example,
15 seconds.
Shelby Park had 1,500 people come in a day. Now they have 3 a week. I got to say, that sounds like a win. Sounds like Walls work.
Okay, thank you very much.
And it's party
Admiral
time.
Gibbs.
All right. Oh, sorry.
How the fuck did somebody do that? Did you do that?
What was that?
All right.
He
Alex
actually managed
Jones?
to play that on my shit. Okay.
All right.
I see there's fucking
I thought someone just did
hacking
a
going
good,
on here right now.
Impression.
All right.
All right, Pineapple TV. Thank you.
So I'm going to respond to you guys real quick. We have legal limits for a reason. The solution isn't just to have enough judges to give everyone legal citizenship. We couldn't take in 50 million in a year. I think we would all agree with that. So there are reasons that we have limited even legal immigration. Yeah, it's nice to help people. It's like being charitable when you're $40 trillion in debt. I don't know that I agree with that. And as far as the immigrants comment that this is a country of immigrants, those immigrants are already here. The immigrants that are showing up at the border are not the immigrants that built this country over the last 100 years. So those three arguments don't matter to me. But as far as which candidate has a more effective platform, it depends what your goal is. Kamala's path to citizenship plan is going to incentivize even more immigration, which we already know is a largely economic migration. It's not all asylum seekers, and there's a lot of asylum abuse, which I think Trump has talked about fixing. So if you want to actually address that asylum problem that Sanzo mentioned, I think Trump's the one to do that. Kamala's plan is to incentivize more migration, give them a path to citizenship, and enshrine a Democratic majority forever. We will never have presidential elections that are anywhere close because they just gifted anyone who can get here citizenship.
Yeah,
Trump is going to disincentivize. Hold on. Well, one second. I'll skip this last part just because I have it all written down like a schizo. Trump's plan is going to actually disincentivize future border crossings by engaging in deportation as normal. If you think we can't deport them because those places are so cruel, I don't know why you would suggest that these countries are shitholes like that. So I don't see the problem with deporting. I don't think it's like this door-to-door thing. It's as simple as having local law enforcement actually work with ICE like they used to without giving federal funds to sanctuary cities. These are all, it's not an immediate, we just got to wave and go door to door. But when you get arrested and you're here illegally and you've had a DUI or you
15
any
seconds.
crime, basically, you should be deported. It will actually disincentivize further immigration. So if you want to fix the immigration crisis, it's Trump, obviously.
5.
3.
Okay.
2.
Yes, thank you very much. Pentemple, moving on to drone tech. Take it away.
Yeah, so it's pretty clear to me that if you want to fix this or at least get on a road to fixing it, you definitely have to go with the Republicans because Democrats have been very open for decades now about the fact that they want an unrelenting flow of illegal immigration. They say immigration, but we know they mean illegal immigration into the country because they think that they're going to turn red states blue by doing that. Some people call this replacement or whatever. I don't know if it's that, but Democrats have been very open about their plan to do this for a long time. And so they don't really have any motivation to stop it because they believe that these people are going to come, and once they become dependent on Democrat handouts and they're just going to be dependent on Democrats and vote for them permanently and give them a permanent majority. So when Sondesol asked, why is the crisis the way it is? I think that's a big part of it. A lot of illegal immigrants, a lot of migrants that have come have said that they came because they felt Biden was they felt Biden was going to give them everything they needed, was going to welcome them with open arms. So there's a big incentive to come here illegally. There's no incentive to come legally. And Nina said that the border is a political thing to Trump. Well, it's purely political to the Democrats. Don't believe any other thing because, like I said, they've been open for years by the fact they do believe that this will result in them getting permanent control for the foreseeable future. A lot of the reason if you look right now, a majority of Americans do support mass deportations, and that's the big reason for that is because it's gotten so bad. There was 2.9 million encounters, or I'm sorry, 2.7 million encounters in just 1 year in 2003 of Biden's term.
10 seconds.
It never reached anywhere near that under Trump. Trump had the Remain in Mexico policy. Biden got rid of that on day one, although I think it took a while to go out. But
okay, thank you very much, Drone Tech. We're going to be moving on to the pit section of this. We're going to have everybody in here popping around one more time for everybody. Whose immigration policies will be more effective for the United States? Kamala Harris's approach or Donald Trump's? Please, for everybody that's in the pit, try to keep this connected specifically to the candidates for clarity. What's going on?
What do you think
Are you
encounters
Oh, that
means?
was just T for Trump. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Jesus Christ,
wait,
that
wait.
means
Yeah,
time
looks-
out.
yeah.
The hype's on our
seriously.
side. Don't let them gaslight you.
Okay.
Take it
What do you
take it
think
away, guys.
encounters mean? Drone, what do you
That's
think
something that
encounters
actually goes off of
means?
what Pentuple was saying, and
Well,
I'll be real quick because I have this written down
encounters-
too. Was that also
encounters means-
Jesus?
Wait.
Great straw man, because you did unlock Admiral Gibbs'
Admiral
rant
Jesus,
cards, that was
the third
hilarious.
Jesus?
I know, right? But when it comes down to like who was running this, like Republicans really actually don't care who's in charge because your elites don't care who is in charge.
Okay, I have a quick thing. Okay, first off, you said that Kamala's plan would incentivize people to
Yeah,
to
it already
come
is.
over. All right,
Guys,
but like here's the thing, the main incentive, right, for people to come
You
here
get
and
to-
try and claim asylum is that the asylum process is so like forgiving, all things considered. It has been the policy of the Democratic Party over the past couple of years to
why?
make that a little bit more difficult, but the
No, wait,
actual
no.
law. Wait,
Do you
hold on.
agree that there's asylum abuse, or is that what we're getting
there's
at?
almost
What is
certainly-
asylum
there's-
abuse?
Asylum abuse would be
It's
people
who
that are
claim
coming
asylum
over.
but aren't coming. They aren't fleeing persecution for some.
They're coming for economic
Okay,
reasons
so
because
if you
like
wanna
you
sell
said, we
that
have the best
judges-
economy in the world, not by accident.
Got it.
We didn't get handed to it either.
Right,
These
but,
immigrants
like,
that came here had to build it.
Biden and Kamala.
You can roll your eyes.
they-
You have no argument. So it's
No,
over for
Biden-
you. I don't
Well, I'm
Biden
letting
come-
Sunsil talk. We can have our argument bet, but I'm
Biden
letting
and Kamala,
All right,
they were
let-
the ones
give you a
that
minute to
were
think.
totally fine with, getting the Democrats behind the mostly Republican. Granted, they had to make some concessions, but the amount of concessions that the Democrats made to the Republicans so that they could get that Ukraine funding and that Israel funding through was unbelievable. It was the most conservative anti-immigration
It
bill.
was still worthless.
that's not true. That's not true, Santo.
It's
That's why I brought-
absolutely true.
No,
What do you mean? You can't say it's not
finish
true.
really- Let me finish.
You're
Let me finish this
allowed to
super.
debate.
Oh my
Okay,
god!
all right.
Santo,
Let
you
me
are
just
actually
finish.
not-
Let me just
Go
finish
ahead,
this
Santo, but
real
you're being
quick.
bad faith right now if you want to
I'm
say
not
that.
being bad faith
You are
whatsoever.
because I can
All right,
give
let
you
me-
the
hold
immigration
on.
bill that was stronger
Okay,
from
so
the from the
Kamala's
Trump
plan. Kamala's plan includes resuscitating that bill that Trump was the one that went in and said, "Hold on,
The
I
one
don't
that
want you
lets
guys
2
to pass
million
this."
illegals through every year.
That's not how it works, and that's just a misreading of the thing.
Again, it's
So
not
that's
illegal if
number
they're
one.
asylum
They're
seekers.
not even
Trump
allowed
hasn't
to
said-
declare.
Trump
They're
hasn't
not
said-
illegal if
Trump
they're
hasn't-
asylum seekers.
Oh
You
my
fucking
fucking
idiot.
All right. I'm
God.
gonna have to take.
So,
Sanso,
Kamala-
are you done with your point yet?
I'm trying, but literally every time I start, they
Did you
start
say Kamala?
freaking the
I'll give you.
fuck
I'll
out.
give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Go
All
ahead.
right,
Wrap it
so
up.
Kamala's actually trying to get that thing through. Trump has not said that he wants to revive that plan. That is a good plan that would
don't need
disincentivize
that
people from
plan.
coming over. Number two, Mr. Drone Tech brought up the soft replacement theory. Even you admitted that was like the soft replacement thing. But,
I
like,
didn't
if
bring it up.
we-
Democrats
You
openly talk
literally,
about
I'm talking.
it.
They
Who's
are
in this
replacing us.
conversation?
They're trying to
Democrats
add
in this
20 million
conversation,
new Democratic
or are we in
voters.
this conversation, Drone Tech?
All right.
All right. So you
We're
brought the
talking about
soft
Democrat policy
replacement.
and who's
you
gonna-
talked.
All
Hold
right,
on.
Sanso, I
You
gotta
brought-
pull
I'm
you.
just
I gotta pull
going
you.
to respond to this. I have
All
4
right.
points that you guys
Sanso,
brought up.
and
I'm just
Sanso,
going to say
thank you,
this, and then I'll let you guys
Sanso.
do
Okay.
it.
Can't win the
Let me
election.
just finish this one
Sanso's
point.
absolutely
Let me finish this
incorrect,
one
by the way.
point. Fuck
He's absolutely
off.
incorrect.
Oh
I
my
posted
God.
the link just now, and
Jesus
that's why I'm going
Christ.
not a Facebook link. This is the Congress.gov. It's HR 6136. This is the bill that was issued under Trump. It actually has border wall funding and oh Lord, please, thank you, Lisa.
Nobody gives a shit about border wall. It's insanely ineffective.
You don't, because you want to incentivize. You want people to immigrate here forever, like at any rate.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Why don't you want
You don't
immigrants?
understand that
Why
we've
do you
built
not
an
want immigrants?
infrastructure.
Hold on,
We've built
hold
social
on.
programs. You can't give them to 8 billion people. We
Hold
can't
on,
double
let
our
him
population
finish.
in 10 years. It's not
Billion
possible.
people? You
I'm
want to
not-
actually
this
even
guy
like
say
be on the
what?
level that makes sense?
You are giving
Just like to
no
remind the
limits.
moderator he's got a server
wanted to
mute
just
button
make
that
them
he
all
can
citizens.
use on the Republicans at any fucking time instead of just our side.
Like,
Okay.
silence
You can
my
practice
political
this.
opponent, please.
I just all right.
silence
So,
them.
I just want to bring up
Gibbs and
thanks.
Nina, please.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Look, so the thing is, I post this, and I know I just talked about the border wall that Trump wanted to do, but he also, in this bill, and you can look at it, y'all can go through it, he actually gives more money to every single thing that the Dems wanted in their most recent bill. He was going to hire more judges than they wanted. He was going to do all the things they wanted in this
It's really
bill,
weird that he decided to strike it down then,
well,
huh?
guess who struck it
No,
down?
not him.
It was your boy Chuck Schumer. So you can't
Yeah.
sit here and get on your high hill and
It
tell
was
me,
your boy Schumer.
wanted
Yeah,
to
what
sit here
office
and
did
go,
Trump hold?
hey,
What happened?
Wrap it
yeah,
up,
What
Gibbs.
office was he
yeah,
holding?
I'm gonna get this. It's interesting. They're gonna sit here and get on this dishonest high horse and say, "Oh, you struck down this other bill, which was total bullshit." When Trump
about to
had a
get muted.
more inclusive immigration bill.
Would
and
you
a
say
stronger
that Trump
border
is the head of the Republican Party?
Okay, we're moving on. I'm gonna bringing back Hippy. Bringing back Pent Up. Boom.
What?
Sorry, Sansol and Gibbs, you guys are just temped. Everybody else, do you want to respond to what Gibbs had to say? Or were you even listening?
Well, I guess I
Well,
had to
dude,
ask,
I
like,
was
do you think
still
that the
zoned in
wall
on
is useful?
Sansol's point that he was trying to make and never got through because laughing Republican Kamala over here
Okay, well
and
then respond
Mexican
to it.
Ginger
Stop
is
complaining
just
and
fucking
respond to it.
crazy.
Stop complaining and
Yeah.
respond to it right now. Come on.
I can't respond to it because I don't know what he was trying to say because I could hear him.
He was talking about replacement, soft replacement or something.
Okay, what is the problem? I have to ask, what is the problem with having immigration? It's always made
Oh my
our
God.
country the strongest.
Legal.
It's been
Legal
a net
immigration.
boon to our country. What are you
Mia.
guys talking about? Our population growth is not going to succeed. Like, we need immigration to have this
Mia,
country keep running.
let
What
me
are
ask
you
you.
guys saying that you have a problem with immigration?
You're the one who wants social programs for everyone. You want Medicare for
I'm-
all.
shush.
New York City's falling apart because they're taking so many migrants and they can't give them anything. They're giving them
Hey,
fucking
if you
hotel
can't
rooms.
see how
They're
those
taking
are
the
connected-
resource of the city. Like we
You guys
can't.
claim
That's
that
the
you
answer.
love-
We can't. We can't take
You
the whole
love illegal
world.
immigrants, yet what happened is
I'm not saying illegal
immediately when-
immigrants. I'm saying immigration in general.
No, but this,
We can
this is
have
the word
legal
game you guys play.
immigration,
We're
but
They don't
talking-
have language between the
It's
We're
two.
talking-
limited for a reason.
Can I say this?
Yeah,
so what
sure.
happened
I
when
don't disagree.
what happened when Republican governors started busing all these people to Democrat cities and to Martha's Vineyard? Immediately,
They spent a lot of my taxpayer
Start
dollars
freaking
in
out.
Texas to send
Why
a
do you
bunch of
think-
people randomly over to Mars. Yeah, it was psychotic.
Hey, Texas
right, okay.
saved money doing
And-
that.
but it's not
I don't know if you knew that.
psychotic
They
why these
saved
people
money
drop
doing
off
that.
in
That's
American
why they
suburbs,
spent
right?
the money to send them out because then they didn't have to
Can
pay
you
them.
shut the f- out so I can hear what he's saying?
You just said that. Yeah, Joe Biden was flying immigrants in the night on planes into suburbs of America in secret for years there.
Thing.
Where are you getting that from?
Oh, there's a lot of sources. We can
Is
pull
that
it
a
up.
real
Yeah, I
thing?
mean, it's-
Well,
yeah, it's-
I mean, don't act
yeah,
like
it's
I should know
well-reported
this.
news.
That's a weird thing.
Why do you
to
think
say.
every other country?
Why do you think they started doing the busing thing? It was a response.
Yeah,
Because
that's actually that's
Because
100%
America's
So you
fucking
were you
basically
think okay,
one of
regardless
Let
if
me
it's a
bring up another
response,
point.
you think it? Oh my god, this is so silly.
Can I
Why
bring up
do you
another
think
thing?
that they should
Why do you
spend
think-
taxpayer money to send immigrants randomly to Martha's Vineyard?
Good question. Oh no,
a good PR move,
the Martha's
honestly.
Vineyard thing was to make a point.
It was a good PR move.
You're
It was
doing
a way to
this-
So
show
you
the
think
world
that
that
that's
the
cool that
elites don't agree.
my taxes from I
Your
live in
tax dollars
Texas.
are
My
going to it
taxes were
anyway.
used to
Your
send
tax,
them
it's
there.
not only your taxes.
Are you
Hold on.
insane? Like
Hold on.
you don't think
a
your
good
tax
political
dollars?
stunt is
Hold
not
on.
good?
You don't think your tax dollars are going to pay for Biden to fly the migrants around the country or to
I have
bus
no
them or
idea what you're
whatever?
talking about. If that's the thing,
Okay.
then I don't agree with that.
Okay,
Well,
well,
it's
okay.
happening.
So why do you think there's so many black voters now who are saying they're going to vote for Trump? Because a lot of these migrants have been bused
What does
out
this have
into
to do with
these
black people?
Democrat. Well,
Because
there's
they
been a
take the
big
social
shift.
program.
Where do you
There's been
think the
a lot more
migrants are
black
going?
people.
What neighborhoods
No,
do you
but
think they're
this is
getting
happening.
ending up in?
I'm trying to. Yeah, they're
You
ending
guys
up
are
in
so
these
behind
neighborhoods.
on this
and they're
conversation.
taking these
Okay,
these
but double chill.
illegals are taking resources away from these low-income black residents.
What?
And
Because
so
the
they're
black
like, what the
residents
hell?
wanted to go to Martha's Vineyard?
No, the Martha's Vineyard thing was just to show that Democrats, they say one thing, but they act another way. They don't actually want
It's almost like if you
what
send them
point
to
was-
a place
what
that doesn't
point-
have
wait, hold on,
any
what
infrastructure
point
to
do you think
fucking
was
hold them like
improved in that?
Martha's vineyard, they're not going to be able to house them. Yeah,
What do you
it's
mean you
like
don't have infrastructure?
what
Aren't you
happened
guys
to
all
Martha's
about
Vineyard?
Martha's
creating
Vineyard is
people,
like a
putting them in
fucking like
charity?
specific
What-
like tiny
Martha's
suburbs
Vineyard has
like rich
multi-millionaires who have multiple houses and have a house in LA, Miami,
Do you know what
and
Martha-
Oh wow!
Virginia.
Congratulations! Yeah.
Okay.
But are there
Okay,
like
who
are there a
cares?
bunch
Then
of
we're spending a
apartments?
third of
Are
their
there
time there.
enough apartments there for them to house?
It's like taking
the
them to like
migrants?
the Hamptons.
What
Like, what
did-
are you
what
going to
did-
expect?
Definitely.
What did the mayor of New York say?
You're gonna get-
What did- or-
But
of
like
New York City
this
say?
is like
He
this
said
is so
the
fucking
migrants
stupid.
are being
What?
bused
Alright,
into
hold
a
on,
city.
hold on, hold on, hold
I
on.
want to care about Martin.
Okay,
Luther King.
this
okay,
is what I want to
Actual
ask
more
because I didn't
ridiculous.
get to finish the point earlier.
Sure.
Sure.
Because we're like off on a like major tangent here. So We haven't really, like you said that Chuck Schumer was the one that shot it down. I have a link right here. AP News that's Schumer saying, hey, why do they not want to fix this emergency? We're literally like, here, we have the votes to do it, and it's the Republicans that are not voting for this. I don't know how it's Chuck Schumer that's the one that's killing this bill. Also, I just want to bring us back to that soft replacement theory thing, right? Like they just want to build up more votes in all these places because for some reason, and I'll say this, Democrats have a problem too with just assuming that minorities are going to vote for them forever. But why do you think Hispanics vote for Dems, even though they're largely social? Hold on, because they're largely. Oh my God, I'm literally on the last sentence of what I'm trying to say before I get muted again. You loser, shut the up.
You're
okay?
Why would they vote for us?
why do they vote for us when they're largely socially conservative? There are a bunch of Catholics coming from below the border. I lived in Houston, Texas for the majority of my life. A lot of them are extremely socially conservative, but for some reason Republicans can't get those fucking voters.
Right.
Why? Maybe it's because
they
they come off
better
as
propaganda than the right.
Well, maybe the Republicans just come off as super racist all the fucking time. Every time they open their mouths and
That's not what it out to be.
Why they vote for you?
Move it over. Druid Jesus, it's your turn. You haven't talked for a little while. I'm going to focus on Druid Jesus, Media Wench, and Hippy Jesus for a little bit. And this
I was
you guys
trying to
haven't said
shut the
almost
fuck
anything.
up so that they could get a.
So there's a lot here, right?
I stopped.
Going to what Oversanzel was like talking about is
not
comes down to the Dems have just kind of better propaganda, and Republicans just are very bad at being creative and are very bad at actually talking to their constituency because they're so used to being in their small communities and their small churches and being very great in talking to those guys, and they're not so great at talking to communities that they don't constantly pertain to, which is why it's actually probably the conservatives here probably rank way higher than any of your average conservatives on creativity, because we're here, we're trying to be loud and we're trying to like be advocates for this cause. And so when it comes down to it, like
I know
there's just a lot of like points and tangents that we're getting on into this, which it comes down to both sides. Both sides are playing the political game around this immigration
What's the cause?
system.
Yeah, because what's the policy other than just build a
the
wall
policy
and
is
close
both
the
sides
border
are
down
trying to get
and stop
their
just letting
win.
brown people
The policy
in.
going back to what you guys are saying about this whole entire back and forth. This policy of going back and forth of like
it's a cop out. You know it is.
What policy?
Can we let Jesus talk here?
Yeah. So this going back and forth of Trump had a policy to help immigration. The Dems had a policy to help immigration. This is literally the problem. Everybody wants credit for fixing this problem, which means that this problem is just going to persist. So what it comes down to, what?
I don't understand that. You're saying that because they both have policies that the problem is going to persist?
So, yes, and I'll get into the exact line item part of what Republicans are so annoyed about with this system of huge bureaucracy. Everything is connected and together in one bill, whereas we could just do a border bill, a nonpartisan border bill, nonpartisan international affairs bill.
Yeah, and the Dems try to do
focus on the bills. No, you guys don't. You guys try and lump everything together so that there's a child tax credit for the blind and people without feet.
Wait, are you saying that the border bill
yes, literally.
We literally did
but literally that's what the Dems passed for their.
And then the Republicans were the one who shut it down.
But there's so many different. We can go line item by item. We don't have the possibility to do that right now. But we could, if you guys want to, later on. We can go over these bills and actually show, like, hey, this is a connection of like something that the left would even be like, why is this in an immigration bill? Why aren't we talking about asylum in this immigration bill? Because we're not. We're just talking about things that we can do. We just don't focus on the actual topics at hand on a national level, and it's really frustrating when people are at each other's throats when we need to be bipartisan about this, like a kind of bipartisan idea behind this.
I would agree.
Real quick, I'll hand it over. Is that there are more Dems who are leaving the left and coming over to the right to try and work on this issue than there are people on the right leaving the right.
I mean, the idea of it being bipartisan is that there are a lot of. You're right. There are a lot of Dems that are working on this issue, but it's not necessarily like leaving. You don't have to not be Democratic if you support like having a border bill. That's not at all like
they go independent.
You can't.
Wait, hold on. When you say that they left the Dems,
that's not
what
true.
do you mean?
They dropped the Dems from their election voter registration, and they go as independent.
No, we'll be independent, whatever.
They're still going to be voting
sure, whatever.
down tickets.
Oh, wait, well, hold on. To be fair,
Prominent senators have done this, my friend. Prominent representatives have done this.
Are you talking about random citizens, or are you talking about people in power?
Get the specific name. Yeah, I'm talking about actual politicians. There's a senator from Arizona.
So can you name one?
I can't off the top of my head. I have too much knowledge in my head to actually give you
you're talking about Kristen Sinema?
Based answer.
It wasn't
that's one of
over
them.
that. That's not why she dropped
a fundamental disagreement about how to approach this. There's one side that doesn't want to deport anyone. They don't want to disincentivize further immigration. They just want to legalize all of it. And the other side,
that.
And the system is working.
If we had more
immigration
legally.
Nobody here said that. Nobody here said that there should be no deportations. Like even Sansel said that.
Do you guys agree with deporting people? Do you?
It depends, but like the mass deportation that you guys
makes sense, and yeah, absolutely.
What does it depend on?
We're talking about the cartels controlling our immigration system.
Well,
we're talking about immigration system. We just don't do anything about it.
No,
these people are coming across the border paying like $3,000 a head to get carried up.
That's
what we're trying to talk about are the policies put forth, and if we're going to be talking about the deportations and then Pirtle or Pentuple saying that we just giving our arguments that we're not saying about how we want to make it all legal, we want to make no deportations, when Sansel himself said that deportations were fine, it just depends on what it is. Mass deportations
what do you mean depends on what it is? They're illegally
I'm just gonna keep going, and then you can ask me the goddamn question when I'm done. This is the problem. Yeah, thank you. You've been interrupting everybody this whole time.
Everyone's been interrupting everyone this whole time.
No. Hey, I'll do the moderation. Say what you have to say. I don't want to hear metagaming. Say what you have to say.
Yeah, thanks. This is like, we need to talk about what we're actually saying, not what our brain imagines the other side saying. We're okay with deportations. Mass deportation would absolutely logistically us up if we try to deport all 20-something million illegal immigrants.
Okay.
It's just, it's impossible.
Do you agree with cutting off federal funding in sanctuary cities and where local law enforcement refuses to work with ICE? Do you agree with those changes?
No, because I think sanctuary cities should be something that you advocate for. I don't think you actually believe in deporting at all.
I think you look for any reason to not deport
everyone. Do you even know what a sanctuary city is? Do you know how they function?
Like issue.
Hold on.
Yeah, are you not for state rights?
We're a little off topic though, right? Like that's not really what we're talking. Who gives a shit about like the sanctuary cities? We're talking about the Kamala policy versus Trump policy, and we have at least the Biden policy that was put up, and we have the Trump policy that was put up in 2018, right? The Trump policy was secure the border with the wall, and then check this out. It was everything in the border bill the Dems put up in 2024, except it was more. It gave you everything y'all asked for, and y'all said Trump, and y'all just shut it down. So when y'all get on y'all's high horse and say, "Oh, we want immigration reform," we want these people to say, you are lying, because you would have sat here and supported that bill, which would have done two things. It would have stopped the inflow at the start, and like the project or Operation Lone Star has proven to be worked, 85% effective, and it would have gave you everything you wanted more of: asylum, more judges for asylum, speed up the process, reform it so we have asylum reform, every single thing you wanted, and y'all still said, "Fuck you, Trump."
Protecting the DACA recipients, and it included.
Hold on, the new one didn't do that either. The new one didn't do that either. So
I know.
But
that was the state of negotiations in 2018.
No, they threw a little hissy fit, even though they got everything they were.
And you guys that's what I'm saying. You're petulant children. You couldn't even take.
Hold on. I've been quiet because I don't want to get server muted. But like that was the state of negotiations in 2018. All right, and part of it was they weren't giving any protections to DACA recipients. I'm pretty sure that they said something about deporting DACA recipients, and the border wall was a complete political non-starter. Now, if you want to say that the Democrats are just like obstinate, they'll never vote for anything as long as it's Donald Trump in charge, you can say that, but I don't know if that's necessarily true, because they were, this is the last part, because they were willing to pass this bill that had less of the things that they wanted in it, right? They had this bill that was in front of them that had less things that the Democrats wanted and way more things that the Republicans wanted, and the Republicans shot it down. Right?
No, this is the problem. Is the border wall works? Like I know y'all don't want to sit here and say it
doesn't. There's no proof of that.
Operation Lone Star has unequivocally proved it does work. Shelby Park is a perfect
example. Can you give me any?
It went from 1,500 people a day to 3 people a week. I like that is unequivocal proof. And then if you look at across the board,
how is that unequivocal proof if it's just a small subset of information?
It's a very tiny. It's a small section that's heavily patrolled. You can't have that level of security. You're muted, Gibbs. You can't have that level of security across the entire 1,000-mile border. That's the entire
we don't
reason.
have the manpower to go from one side of the border to the other. This is the same thing that's a logistical nightmare, as well as the mass deportations. Every single policy that the Republicans put forth, like Trump, are a nightmare logistically. There's no shot we're going to be able to easily mass deport people. There's no shot we're going to have the manpower for the border wall.
And the final point is, you could just
destroy. Horrible.
You could just destroy the incentive, which was you could see exactly when Obama changed there was some executive action that he took that changed the way that asylum seeking was enforced at the border. He changed that. And then people were like, oh, well, if we go and we claim asylum, then we can go into the United States. It seems like that's where the massive influx of people started, right? Now, if we change the way that asylum worked, which was in the bill, if we change the way that we process asylum seekers, which was in the bill.
You're unmuted.
Oh, well, it's 85% along the whole board.
I'm sorry.
Talking about Shelby Park. Listen, I was ready. I was going to get that point across.
Jesus
I couldn't raise
Christ.
your hand right. Can you say it
the
again?
racism here, my guy. Who gives a shit about immigration?
Border.
That's what America's built off of. It's built off of immigrants. We need
Why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying that like the immigrants who are showing up at the border, the ones who get credit for building America?
Because it's true. Legal immigration.
America are already here.
Immigrants who
are
already here.
My
They're
God.
not at the border. They're not showing up today.
So sensitive.
They didn't do anything. I'm laughing.
They come here and they get a job.
What did you do to deserve to be an American? You didn't do anything.
Pentuple.
Hey, I was born here. I'm an American.
Do you disagree?
Yes, you didn't do anything.
No, I
do you
did.
disagree?
They worked their ass off to get here. They're more
Do you
American than I think that you are.
More people in the United States means that there is a larger labor pool that means that people can get more jobs and it speeds up our economy.
What are we, GDP chasing? I thought you guys didn't like that, but I don't understand.
What do you think that we don't like GDP?
Instead of obfuscating, answer the question he's asking you.
What is the question he's asking?
More people coming here equals more people here equals more people that can move into the labor force, get more jobs, meaning that build
who are they
businesses.
taking jobs from? Who are they
They're not taking any jobs, you dumb bitch.
Nina, they're right. They do take jobs from people. It's like it hurts.
The people that y'all are supposed to be helping.
Yeah, no. I think it reduces the average wages of people who don't have a college degree by like 2%.
Sonsel. So why
and not to mention the jobs that most immigrants are taking are like labor jobs, like working on a farm or working construction. I am somebody who works in construction. I work with a lot of immigrants that come to this country to work.
Yeah, they're great workers.
No, what I'm trying to do is talk. So when in my workforce, there is a lot of immigrants that come to America to actually help build. We are in the trades. You Republicans preach that people need to go into the trades. You preach that we have a labor shortage when it comes to working in the trades. Guess what? The immigrants are actually putting forth that effort to rebuild that.
Yeah, let's get them to pay taxes.
You say that is fucking racist as hell because those immigrants are helping us. They are helping rebuild America, being into the trades, helping rebuild business, helping redo this. They are helping our labor force, and you're over here trying to cut small businesses.
So let's Let's get specific as to what Republicans have an issue with.
I don't think it'll help that one.
Let's get a specific with what Republicans have an issue with.
I want to know why Democrats hate poor people, because that's what's happening right now in Chicago.
Famously, Democrats hate poor people.
Druid, I'm going to listen to you when he's done.
Let him 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's $300 million. I'm not going to take 2 minutes. It'll be quick. $300 million facility that was going to be built and used by African Americans was instead repurposed to use to house illegal aliens, and they are up in arms about it in Chicago. But hey, Democrats are like, no, suck our dick and enjoy it. That's what they're telling the poor people.
What it comes down to that I think both sides can agree with is that there's an abuse of our asylum system, and that we need. Sorry, I wrote some stuff down and it's all chaotic right now. Because this conversation is just
take a second.
We can be specific on what Republicans actually think, which is anti-immigrant crime, anti-cartel crime, anti-cartel control over the border, which I think the Dems can also agree with that their trafficking sucks. And I think that the Dems can also agree that there's an abuse of the asylum system and that both sides are trying to take credit for the fixing of the asylum system and immigration system when we need to stop being or wanting credit. We need to be able to do things anonymously. And if you can do something that actually creates a better world, if you can do it anonymously, you're actually a good person.
It would be great
Whereas
if we
if you
could do
want
it
credit for it,
anonymously.
you're just a
That would be great,
Well,
but
I
what
don't
we
think
need
that
is
that's
people
true,
to
though.
have
You
the
usually get
bravery
both
to
sides
put
want
their
to do that.
faces down. We need people to have
Yes.
brave enough to like actually go out there and like make
10,
the hard decisions. But Republicans aren't willing to do
9.
that. Democrats seem to have been able to do that.
no. And that's just a perspective issue that we're gonna
Yeah,
keep
that's a
battling
perspective
over.
You
issue,
said they
but-
work really hard to get
Five,
here. If they
four.
work really hard to break into your house, are you cool with that?
My
The
house
house
is
is
different
not a
from
They're
the
not
country,
breaking
you
into my
dumb
house.
fuck.
Being in
All
my
right,
country does
everybody,
not
thank
break
you
into
very
my
much for
house.
the
They
stuff that
are.
you had to say.
Oh, it's
Thank you very
not.
much. I know it feels like we could go forever, but unfortunately,
I don't
it
own
is
my country.
4:20, the official fucking have a good time moment of the day, and we have 18 minutes roughly of closing statements, and then you guys are going to be able to say your goodbyes as well. Thank you, everybody who is participating. Thank you for everybody who survived the pit out there in the audience. You guys did great. Hopefully, everybody is pissed about how much I muted you. Because that's really what I was trying to accomplish. Shout out everybody who was a good sport about it and who popped back in. We're going to be going through closing statements in the same order as before. Unless you guys want to switch the order up, it does actually favor the conservative side. I realize that you guys all get the last say. If everybody
Just
wants to
stagger it.
continue that way, we will. If you guys want us to go in the perfectly opposite order, we can. I'm just going to offer that
I think
one time.
if we're gonna switch it, we need to switch it multiple times throughout the panel and not just at
do
the
like
end.
liberal, conservative, liberal, conservative, liberal.
Yeah,
All right,
probably.
yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Think about it.
I don't
All
really
right,
have
then I'm going to be doing exactly that by just going back and forth. So it's still going to start with Sansel, but then immediately after that, we're going to skip straight to, I believe, Druid Jesus. So, with all that said, we are entering closing statements of the final topic of conversation, which I'm going to repeat because we may have gotten off of it a little bit, just so everybody's caught back up. Whose immigration policies will be more effective for the United States? Kamala Harris's approach or Donald Trump's? One more time. Whose immigration policies will be more effective for the United States? Kamala Harris's approach or Donald Trump's? Sansel, with your final statement for the evening, please take it away. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why conservatives are saying that the bill was not as strong as it should have been. It needed to go way further when it's majority Republican policies that are inside of that. They took out most of the Democratic concessions that were negotiated back in 2018. So it's like overwhelmingly what the conservatives wanted. It was a wish list, and they shut it down because it was supposed to help Donald Trump with his election bid here in 2024. There is an interesting conversation to be had around immigration in the United States. It feels like Hippy Jesus was like kind of tickling the edges of that interesting conversation. But unfortunately, we can't get past like the Democrats are, trying to bring in as many people as possible to like actually have that part of the conversation. And we're doing like our shout outs and everything too, right?
No, you can do those at the end. You can take this whole 2 minutes for your argument.
Yeah, no, I that's about it for me. I'm like a little bit disappointed whenever I have a conversation about immigration because there is a problem with the Democrats and the way that they handle things. Like the conservatives have some points on it, but unfortunately they like cede that entire conversation in favor of arguing a completely different social issue.
Gotcha. Actually, we do have plenty of time. Do you guys just want to do your I'm leaving here?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I'm Sansol. Yeah, I'm Sansol. I like to very badly play Pokemon on stream right now. I
saw you have a GameCube behind you.
Dude, I collect all the old Nintendo systems. All right,
That's
love
lit,
playing
yeah.
the old retro
I'm a
stuff.
GameCube fan.
Let's
You should
fucking
check
go.
out my eBay
Let's
store.
go.
All right.
Poor.
Keep it
But anyway, you can find me on YouTube and on Twitch. I got unbanned finally after a year. So Sansol, SONDSOL. We talk about all sorts of things over here.
Cool. Thank you very much, Sansel. Outro for Druid Jesus.
All right,
Take it
I'll
away.
also give my final closing thoughts on the whose immigration policies will be more effective because I didn't really. I mean, like obviously you kind of know that I favor Trump, but the real answer is neither. Both sides just suck at this topic, just across the board. Trump marginally because it's just a little bit more authoritarian and a little bit more just blanket strictness. And what it comes down to is that we need to use the good of both to get rid of the bad fat. Both sides are being just petulant children and trying to actually take all the credit for fixing this significant national security and fundamental society issue that we have. And it comes down to the principle on the bills, basically, whatever bills we talk about, whatever policy we talk about, whether it's immigration or something else, it comes down to the principle that conservatives really are gunning for an item-by-item vote in Congress instead of a bundle of bills, because that's what comes down to a lot of the he said, she said of who gets the political one-up on somebody. So with that exit of the topic being said, I am Jesus the Druid, who you can find on YouTube at Jesus the Druid, where I try and do profound vlogs. I also shitpost on Twitter and can be found there at Desert Eon, but that's mainly to see my cute kitty more than even me. I'm willing to stream video games. I'm willing to come on and talk and be a conservative who looks like Jesus for any one of you guys. So please don't be shy in reaching out. And I come to the internet for fun. I watch entertainment and I participate in these because they are entertaining, at least to me. And maybe you're a hate watcher and that's also fine, but I just hope that every viewer and all the panelists are here to have fun and to somewhat stimulate productive, peaceful conversations that lets us be honest as if we were sitting face to face. And because I know that some of this would be a bit more Jerry Springer than actually how peaceful that we're able to do it if we were in real life. And yeah, I hope to continue these awesome internet dialogues.
Cool. Thank you very much, Druid Jesus. Moving back to another lib with Nina. Take it away.
Oh, hello. All right. I very much appreciate it. Want to say thank you to all of our panelists here, of course. I think it was really interesting to get all of your perspectives, as much as I disagree with you. But I will go with when we're talking about immigration. I think that immigration is incredibly important for us to do in America. We are a country of immigrants. I am a patriotic myself. So I think that we need immigration as we've always needed it. And that's what makes this country so strong is it's our diversity, you know, not to be too on the nose with that. But I think that what we need is a legal way to come through and come into this country. And I think that we have failed in that as a country we have not done a good path. Like the idea that you have to wait 10 years to become a U.S. citizen, I think is insane, unless you're able to expedite it. I think that we need people in this country to come from other countries because that's what our country is built on. I'm patriotic in that. Call me a little silly on that, but I am a very patriotic person. When we're a country of immigrants and we need all of these people coming in, they need to come in legally, of course, and asylum seeking is legally. So I want more judges being funded to be able to have these cases go through where the people who don't have any reason to be here through asylum, then okay. But I want the option for people who do to become citizens and have that start when it comes to even your asylum seeker and become a citizen. Because the most American thing in the world is to be somebody who wants asylum.
15 seconds.
To move to our country and find it because they deserve it, because they have it for the right reasons. That's what I believe in.
Shout yourself out.
Oh, I'm twitch.tv/Nina, Neina, and thank you all.
Cool. Thank you very much, Nina. Back to the other side, Admiral Gibbs. Take it away.
I am Admiral Gibbs. I'm living proof, boys and girls, failed immigration policy. Like, my father is a 3-time felon in Mexico. My blood father. I don't know him. All I know is his stuff that I looked up after I found out who he was. Terrible, evil. This is the kind of person we don't want coming here. You know, I thank God that I'm alive today because of him, but oh well, we don't want this guy. This is the reason why we need border walls, because then, guess what? We would stop him from being here and, you know, maybe not have him be raping and killing people for a living. That would be great. But, hey, anyway, on that note, it's pretty clear that Dems are dishonest. They sit here and they talk blue in the face about how they actually want change, how they want immigration reform. Then when Donald Trump gives them everything they've ever asked for, plus the border security that we actually need, as evidenced by my father coming over here and just knocking people up willy-nilly, you know, it's clear they don't want it. It's clear they don't want real change. They just want to pretend they want real change. It's clear they hate poor people. They use welfare programs that keep these people indebted to them so they keep getting voted. And then whenever they go, oh, we're going to use these immigrants here and we're going to give all the money we were supposed to give you to somebody else like they're doing in Chicago, people finally are onto their game. And it's just really sad that they're just so willing to be so dishonest to all their constituents. And I can only pray that one day the rest of the Democratic Party wisens up to this evil, evil tactic. On that note, I'm Admiral Gibbs. You can find me at twitch.tv/Admiral Gibbs and everywhere else as Admiral Gibbs.
Awesome. Thank you very
Fatherless
much.
behavior.
Admiral Gibbs.
Thank you, Admiral Gibbs. Heading back to the other side of stuff. Media Wench, take it away.
I'm not even getting into it, quite frankly. I mean, give me a break.
Admiral is like Wish.com Alex Jones.
Hey, listen. I'm much better than Alex Jones.
Hey, it's
My
her.
conspiracies are really witty.
Only as in you don't owe people $1 billion combined.
Listen, turn the freaking frogs gay.
So I think that definitely the policies of somebody who is going to be willing to take advisement from people who are more versed or better informed than them on how to deal with immigration and legal immigration and asylum is definitely better over a policy of authoritarianism and absolute chaos. Also, somebody who understands that all of the cogs of a machine need to turn together. You can't just piecemeal out bills and hope that the one section will work without all the other moving parts that will need to go with it. And then blame somebody else when the whole thing falls apart because you didn't fund everything that needed to go together in order to fix a problem. That being said, I'm the Media Wench. You can find me on Echoplex Media. I play Magic, and I'm working on Cult of the Lamb here. We stream 6 days a week. You can find us at echoplexmedia.com, and my soundboard is better than yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Media Wench. Moving on to Pentuple TV. Take it away, bud.
So I obviously made my argument. I think Trump's more effective. I think we have different goals. I think we want to disincentivize this economic migration that's happening. You guys don't care about it. You're willing to just welcome in however many people that can get to our border. That's fine. I don't think law enforcement is authoritarian. I noticed you guys said that. It's the laws of the land. Enforcing law is not inherently authoritarian, so I disagree with that. But I will say to my final statement, it's fortunate that Trump's plan is better because he's going to win. I knew it was over for you guys when your own audience had to be told how to say her name and you were handed a candidate 3 months before the general election. So good luck. I know you guys know you're losing. That's why you have to keep telling yourself you have the joy and hype. Yeah, okay. We've been doing these all year.
Let's put $100 on it.
In November. I'll put $100 on it.
Let's do it.
All right, I'll message you. Anyways, you can see me on Pentuple TV, on Twitch, on YouTube, on, I don't know, Twitter, TikTok. Make America great again.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for having
very much, Pentuple TV. Moving on to Hippy Jesus.
Yeah, to me, I'm still stuck on the fact that we heard both arguments of they're lazy and they're taking handouts and they're taking our jobs. It's really disheartening to me that to hear people disenfranchise an entire group of people that come to this country and actually join the jobs that nobody else wants to work. They actually put forth and help the trade job sector that they so wholeheartedly bitch about. No workers, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work hard labor. When you have an entire group of people that are willing to work hard labor and are willing to do it well and fast. It's really confusing to me. You're just talking out of both sides of your mouth. If you actually worked hard labor and you actually worked to build things, maybe you'll have a different opinion. But until then, enjoy your desk job.
Do you want to shout yourself out?
I literally have nothing. Like, this is just like fun for me.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much then, Hippy Jesus, at the end there. And then on to our last person of the day. Thank you very much, Drone Tech. Pop off with your 2 minutes. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead. Just go.
Yeah, I kind of agree that it's a problem in both parties and nobody really wants to solve it, and that it's an asylum issue. A big part of it is Obama talked about it in 2018 that the asylum system was being abused. This is something we've known for a long time and nobody seems to want to fix. However, when you look at it, Democrats have the bigger incentive not to fix it, at least right now. And they've made it pretty clear that they don't really want to fix it and that they see as an ends to permanent control and power. And above all, the people who've been lying to you all this time about Biden's cognitive decline are now telling you that Kamala was never the border czar, even though they're the people who told us she was for years. And now we're supposed to believe that same Kamala Harris is going to get elected and then fix the problem. I mean, she's already there. The problem is happening under her watch. But we're supposed to believe she's just going to magically somehow fix it when she gets in power. I don't believe it. I don't think most Americans believe it. And while a majority does seem to support mass deportations, I just want to say I don't support that. I think that would be really ugly. And I do support immigration. I want people to come here and I want them to become Americans. I don't want millions and millions of people coming in here who don't really have any desire to become American and just want to sort of exploit the country. While these people do come in and they work hard, they work for a lot less than your average American will. And so they're priced out of working in these jobs. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks for having me. And if you want to hear any more of my rantings, you can find me at Twitter at @DroneTech and on YouTube at DroneTech, DroneTek.
Okay, thank you very much. And one last time, thank you to everybody who popped in for the Hippy Dippy Recruitment Show. I hope you guys all had a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems, thank you again for tuning in to Hippy Dippy Recruitment with me, your host, Westside Tyler. Make sure to support the Hippy Dippy and its contestants wherever you find them. Follow our own long-haired Vince McMahon on Twitter at DylanBurns1776. And don't forget to get your pets spayed and neutered. Once again, I'm Westside Tyler. You can find more of me at Westside Tyler on YouTube and Tyler Westside on Twitter. Check out my live streams Monday through Thursday, 1 through 5 p.m. EST. And until next time, as always, stay safe out there.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Good
you
seeing
for
us
having
on
me.
us all.
Catch you later, John. All right. Now listen, if you guys like this content, if you guys like me, consider for a second the donation link that I'm putting in chat right now. All right. Your boy is ultra poor. All right. I have a couple of job opportunities, but unfortunately, all of them are being very slow at getting back to me. So I am currently unemployed. So if you guys want to help me out, the donation link right there would really genuinely help me out. $1, $2, $5. If you guys want to go crazy on it, $10. Any little bit helps because your boy needs to buy groceries. He needs to help with the bills. And so if you guys want to help me out with that, that would be really, really, really awesome.